Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Coming at you with the mid-afternoon workout. We got a couple obstacles. First obstacle is what I'm gonna go do is, yes, I'm getting the yoke out again, but this time I'm not zerchering it. I'm not putting my arms under it. I'm doing the traditional yoke carry, where you basically weight it down and you put it on your back like a squat. You lift it up and you walk with it. Simple. Ha! Not so simple, because for my November 1st competition, I'll be moving that implement with about 750 pounds on it. So it is a heavy yoke carry. Now the good thing is we're only, moving it like 10 or 20 feet as opposed to, 50, 60 feet. Which is what some of them are when they're not, half the weight. But hey, it is what it is. That's the whole purpose of training, is to prepare your body for the inevitable. The nice thing is when you are in competition, you almost, I would say maybe 15% can lift 15% more than what you do during training. And that's just because, you're excited, your adrenaline's pumping, people are cheering you on. It's awesome. And so you're always able to perform a lot better in the actual competition than you do with training. But you got to do the training to be able to get to a level to where you can try and to attempt that and succeed and make the podium. So plus, it's just a hell of a lot of fun. But yeah, you got to train. You got to put in time to be able to, and it doesn't matter what you do, whether it's exercise or sports or strongman or learning to play tennis, learning to play the guitar, anything that you're trying to excel in, anything you're trying to accomplish in life, you gotta put into work to be able to accomplish those goals. So that's one of the whole purposes of my channel, is that I want to, especially for us folks that are over 50, if you want to live a nice, long, healthy life, you got to get off the couch. You can't let your body just wither away and become nothing. And it just, hunch over and hard time breathing and all that crap. You need to be active. And like I've said, I don't care what you do, just do something. So, that's really the whole point with my channel, is to encourage you guys to not settle for mediocre and push yourselves to be better, to live longer, to be happier, to be able to walk with your grandkids and do cool, fun stuff. That's the last thing you want, is when you get older, is to be the kind of grandparents where your kids bring the grandkids over and all they're doing is sitting on the couch watching soap operas, because you really can't do anything because you're tired, your back hurts, your feet hurt, you're hunched over, all that jazz. So, I really want to encourage you to get off the couch and do something and push that blood through your heart. It really will help you. And the more that you do that, the more you put into it, the better you'll become. So that's what we're doing today, is we're going to push ourselves with the yoke carry. Got a few accessory things that I'll do afterward if I have time. I'm on my lunch hour, so I'm giving myself about an hour to work out. So we'll get done what we can get done. Also, the other obstacle, because I mentioned too, is the fact that it's freaking hot. I want to say, God, it's like 90 something plus heat index. Not quite sure what that overall temperature feels like right now. But I do know it's freaking hot. Oh my God. So, and we happen to be going over to Work Harder, which is my home away from home when I'm not at my work gym. And the side we're going to doesn't have air conditioning. It doesn't have air conditioning. I'm gonna say that one more time. It doesn't have air conditioning. So yeah, it's freaking hot. The nice thing is they've got a couple big ass fans that circulate the air, even though it's hot air, but at least that's something. And so just remember, when you're doing something, especially if it's in an area where it's super freaking hot, or even it's freaking cold, because you need hydration too when it's cold outside, but get you something to drink. Bare minimum, water. But water's not going to solve all your problems. Whenever you sweat, you're sweating out minerals and key things that you need to be able to push yourself to be the best that you can be. A lot of times you sweat out magnesium and potassium and sodium. That's why whenever you go do something and you're all sweaty and you get home, your dog will sit there for 30 minutes and lick your legs and arms, because they're licking off that sodium that you done sweated out. But you got to replace that, and water will not replace that. So, my perspective is, if you need to get yourself a good hydration supplement, and I'm sorry, I know there's a bunch of naysayers out there, but LMNT, Element, it's the best one. It is by far the best one. Everyone else is trying to catch up. Everyone is coming out with their own formula. You can tell that Element's a good product, because most of the companies that sell hydration supplements, 90% of the time, they're trying to diss on Element. They're trying to say, oh, this product over here has table salt in it. Well, you know what? I'm going to tell you something. Element does not have table salt in it. And if you hear some company telling you that, you better put up that red flag warning, because they lying. They lying and they ugly. So, yeah, just get you some. I've got my Element in my bag. They got a flavor right now for the summer called lemonade, which is pretty awesome. It's very refreshing. But hey, I'll put down in the link down here if you want to try it. You can buy yourself a box, and then with that link, you'll not only get the box that you pay for to be able to really try it, because you need to try it for more than just a few days, but you'll also get a little package of most of their other flavors for you to try out the flavors to find out which one you like. Me, citrus. It's freaking awesome. I'm gonna tell you something. If you like margaritas, that's the one to get, because I tell you, it tastes like a margarita. There's no sugar in Element. So it is a very healthy hydration supplement to take. And it does not have table salt. I just got to keep saying that over and over again. So, hey, I'm going to let you go for right now. I'm going to get myself into the gym that's right over here, and we're going to get our workout on. So let's get to it. Okay, guys. Hopefully this mic's working. So we're here at the gym. We've got the Yoke set up. Now, I'm not an expert, but I have been asked before, what is a good Yoke height? As far as, not necessarily right here. I mean, this impacts that. But once you lift that up, how far off the ground down there on the skids do you need to be able to do a decent carry? Because you don't want it to be too high, because then you're putting a lot of force and you're putting a lot of movement into actually just picking it up like a squat. And that's not what you want. You want to be able to lift it up enough to get it off the ground to walk with it. Because the distance that you're traveling is what you really need to put most of your energy into, and not lifting it up. And yes, like I said earlier, I got my Element, because it is warm in here, folks. In fact, I'll probably only be doing my lifts with the Yoke, and then I'm going to go to the air-conditioned side and do the remainder. I really don't want to have a pass out from heat exhaustion. But anyway, so what is a good height? Now, for me, everybody's different. Everybody has different body types. But like for me, I try to go with about throat level. Woo, puberty just hit me. I go with about throat level, because what that's going to do, and ideally what you want, is to be able to have the skids off the ground from like 1 to 2 inches off the ground. That's going to give you the force that you need to be able to lift and carry. So you're going to get under it like a traditional squat. And up. And so right now, I'm actually a little bit more than 2 inches. I'd say probably, I've actually got this thing 2.5, 3 inches maybe. So, I think for today, so I'm not going to go super, super heavy, but I think today I'll keep it like this. But next time I'll probably go, because you definitely want that to be off. I think, to be honest with you, this might be a good height because the back part of the skids are lower than the front part. So that back part may be within that 1 to 2 inch range. You know, if I had eyes behind my head, I'd be able to see that. So let's get it going. I'm gonna do a couple of warm up runs with no weight. The implement itself, I forget, it's a Titan. I think the implement itself is about 170 pounds. And just like that, I have magically transported myself into a shower and dry, clean clothes out of my sweaty workout clothes. Just kidding, guys. I mean, you know that. But no, I had a phone call or a text message from my wife who said she needed to talk about, she had just had a job interview, and woohoo, I think she got the job. So as soon as I was done working out, she goes, "Can you call me?" So I did not have a chance to do a end of episode final thoughts. So I figured, you know, I can just do it a little bit later. So a few hours have passed, and I am now on my way home. But going back to this workout, it was a good workout. I wish it could have been a little bit longer. Golly, I seriously must be a gym brat or something, because I could literally stay in the gym. Well, sometimes on Sundays I do. I'm in there for sometimes 2 to 3 hours. But today I was only in there for about an hour, and then I was able to get the main things done. There were about 2 or 3 other things I would have liked to have accomplished and done to round out the workout. But you know what? The primary thing was my event training, which was for the yoke carry. We knocked that out. Felt really good. You know, I had talked about the placement of the yoke, you know, how tall off the floor the skid should come, where it should sit on you. It was nice. I think as lifting weights, I probably could have gone down one peg to where empty it was a little bit higher, but with weight it would go down probably to where I needed to be. Once I hit 300 pounds, the back skids were probably maybe a ½ inch off the ground, and if I wasn't going fast enough, I could actually feel them start to drag a couple times. So I could probably go down a peg. That way I make sure that with weight, I'm in that 1 to 2 inch gap range. So, but overall, it was a good workout. You know, we followed that up with a few squats, and then that leg press machine to just kind of to round that off. One thing I didn't video was I did do a little bit of time on the treadmill. So overall, it was just, for the time that I had, it was not a bad workout. With the yoke carry, it's really important, at least for me, it's really important that 2 things. One, you really want to try and, you know, when you have your arms out, and you saw it down in the video, you really want to hug the yoke. That'll help with stabilization, so that the yoke is not swinging. If you can get my drift on that. So it's really important for some stabilization to give that yoke a hug, because it probably needs it. You know, I could probably be a dad joke out of that or something. I don't know. But also, one of the important things I always tell people, especially in competitions, one thing that I have learned, at least for me, it's a lot better to make sure that when you're carrying that thing, to breathe. It's really important for your stamina to breathe. Some people will hold their breaths. Now, I will say this. I mean, it is going to be freaking heavy, but we're only going like 10, 20 feet. So theoretically, I guess you could hold your breath for 10, 20 feet. But with it being heavy, that might mean you need to breathe. So, you know, as we go through these training sessions, I'll experiment with that. You know, for 10, 20 feet, am I faster holding my breath, or am I faster breathing on the run? So, you know, if you've got any thoughts on that, put them down there in the comments. Be interested to see what you think. As far as like today, you know, I did those 3 main lifts of the yoke, squat, and leg press. You know, out of those three, what's your favorite? What do you really enjoy when you go to train out of those three types of lifts? I'll be interested to see what you guys put. So yeah, definitely put something down there in the comments about what you like out of those three. But it was good, very good. I am starting to feel a little sore. I took some BCAAs, I had some creatine before the workout, and that usually will help. I think I may go home, do a little bit of an ice bath before I go to bed tonight. That should help out with some overall soreness. But hey, it was a good day. I'll try and bring you back, guys, for some other things besides those standard things that I can only do at my Work Harder gym. Because at my office gym, I'm not allowed to film. So I'll try and do a more variety of things so that you're not seeing the same stuff over and over and over again. Hey, you know, like I said earlier, my whole goal in this is to just maybe encourage you guys and inspire you guys to get off the couch, go do something. You don't have to do weights. You don't have to pick up yokes that are going to be 750 pounds and walk 10 or 20 feet. Do something. Just get off the couch and do something. And I promise you, you're going to benefit from it, and it's going to help you live a better life. So you guys, without further ado, I'm going to wrap it up right here. So be well, be strong, get your fit on. Peace out. Have a good one.